The metal corridors of Aurora Base were quiet that night. Only the sound of soft humming came from the walls as machines worked to keep the colony alive. Outside the windows, a wide blue nebula glowed faintly, painting the floors with soft light. Most people were asleep, but one human stayed awake. His name was Liam. A young technician responsible for keeping the base systems running, Liam sat on the floor of his small room, surrounded by tools and parts. A broken air purifier lay open before him. He had been fixing it for hours. His eyes were tired, but he did not stop. He knew the purifier would help keep the living quarters clean, and he wanted no one to suffer from bad air. He was not a hero or a soldier. He was only a worker who cared about doing his job well. He reached for a screwdriver when the lights flickered. The warning sign on the wall blinked red. A cosmic storm was approaching. He sighed. "Not again," he whispered. He knew the storm would lock all the doors in the station for safety. It meant he could not leave his room for several hours. He stood up and closed the toolbox. When he heard a soft sound outside his door, the door slid open with a hiss. A small figure stepped inside, her steps slow and uncertain. Liam froze. It was not one of his human coworkers. The figure had pale silver skin that shimmered in the light, and her eyes were large and glowing blue. Two thin ribbons of hair floated slightly around her head like they had a life of their own. She wore a long white robe that looked too fine for anyone on this side of the station. The girl gasped when she saw him. Her translator device blinked, trying to process her quick words. "I am sorry," she said softly. "I think I entered the wrong chamber." Liam blinked in surprise. He recognized her face from the station announcements. She was Princess Alara, daughter of the Viren Emperor. The Viren were known for their calm nature and shining skin. They were one of the first species to make peace with humans. The princess had arrived only a few days ago for diplomatic training. Before Liam could answer, the alarm rang through the hallways. The doors sealed automatically with a heavy click. The storm had reached the base. A robotic voice spoke through the speakers. "Warning. Radiation storm detected. All compartments sealed. Do not exit until clearance is given." Lara turned to the door, her blue eyes wide. "I cannot leave." She asked. Liam checked the lock panel and shook his head. "No, once it seals, it stays that way until the storm passes. It could take some hours." Lara's shoulders dropped. She looked around the small room. It was simple, with only a narrow bed, a desk, and a chair. There was a pile of machine parts on the table and a single light above. Clearly, it was not a place for a royal guest. She stepped back, clearly uncomfortable. "I should not be here. It is not proper." Liam smiled kindly. "You are safe here. The storm is strong outside. Please, take a seat." Lara hesitated. Her glowing hair ribbons shifted slightly as she looked at him. She had never been in a human's private room before. Still, she moved to the chair and sat down, folding her hands neatly on her lap. The air purifier on the floor still made a faint clicking noise. Liam went back to work, pretending to focus, but he could feel her gaze on him. After a few moments of silence, she spoke again. "You are a worker?" "Yes," he said. "I fix machines and keep the life systems running. It is not special work, but someone must do it." Lara tilted her head. "You do it alone?" "Mostly. Sometimes with a team, but I prefer to work at night when it is quiet." She looked curious. "Do humans not rest?" He laughed softly. "We do, but not all of us at the same time. Some of us keep things running while others sleep." The princess looked thoughtful. "On Viren, no one works during rest hours. Our machines take care of such duties, but humans do everything themselves. That is strange." "Maybe," he said, "but it makes us feel useful." The light above flickered again, and the hum of the walls grew louder. The storm was passing close. The metal frame of the room shuddered slightly. Ilara tensed and gripped the edge of the chair. Liam noticed and spoke gently. "Do not worry. The base can handle this. It is built for storms like these." She nodded, but her hands were still trembling. He decided to distract her. He picked up a small metal cube from his table and handed it to her. "Here, Try this. It is a holotoy. You can make pictures appear if you press the side. Lara took it carefully. Her long fingers touched the cube, and a soft light shimmered. A small image appeared above it, a floating planet turning slowly in the air. Her eyes widened in wonder. "This is your world?" She asked. "No," he said. "That is Earth. My home." She watched the image spin. "It is green and blue. It looks alive." "It is," he said. "We almost lost it once, but we fixed it. Humans can break things, but we can fix them too." Alara looked at him with new curiosity. "You fixed your planet." "Not alone," he said. "It took generations, but we did not give up." She smiled faintly. "I think that is what makes humans special. You do not stop, even when everything seems broken." Liam looked at her. For a moment, the difference between them, the alien princess and the human mechanics, seemed smaller. Hours passed slowly. The storm outside roared like distant thunder. Alara started asking more questions. She wanted to know why humans laughed loudly, why they built things with their hands, and why they liked telling stories about heroes. Liam answered each question as simply as he could. When she asked why he stayed alone, he said someone must watch the systems at night. "Besides, I like quiet," Lara nodded. "I understand. I often stay in the palace garden at night. It is the only time no one is watching me." Her voice was soft but heavy with meaning. He realized she was not just shy, she was lonely. After a while, the air in the room turned colder. The heating unit had slowed to save power. Liam reached for a blanket from his bed and placed it near her. "You can use this," he said. She looked at it, unsure at first, then took it gently. The blanket was rough, made of simple fabric, but she wrapped it around herself. The glowing ribbons of her hair dimmed as she relaxed. Liam sat back against the wall and watched. The stormlights danced outside the window. Alara spoke again, her voice quiet. "Do you believe in fate?" He thought for a moment. "Not really. I believe in choices. We walk into places, and sometimes those places change us." She looked down at the holocube in her hands. "Maybe I was meant to open the wrong door tonight," he smiled. "Maybe the door was right, and we just did not know it yet." Her eyes softened. "Humans say strange things, but they sound nice." They both laughed lightly. It was the first time he had heard her laugh. The alarm on the wall blinked again, and the robotic voice spoke. Radiation level decreasing. Safety doors remained sealed until complete clearance. Liam checked the panel. "We still have to wait a bit longer." Lara nodded and looked out the window. The nebula outside glowed brighter now that the storm clouds had thinned. It painted her silver skin in shades of blue and gold. For a while, neither spoke. The quiet felt peaceful. Then she said, "You are not afraid of me?" He looked confused. "Why would I be?" "Most humans are nervous around me," she said. "They bow or avoid eye contact. I can feel their fear. You do not act like that." Liam shrugged. "I see a person, not a title. I think fear just makes walls higher." She seemed to think about that. "On my world, no one speaks to me like this. You treat me as an equal." He smiled gently. "Maybe that is what you need. Not guards or crowns. Just someone to talk to." She stared at him for a long time before whispering, "Thank you, Liam." Her voice was warm, soft, and real time passed quietly until the alarm finally turned green. The door unlocked with a hiss. The storm was over. Alara stood up, still holding the blanket and the holocube. She turned to him. "The door is open now." "Yes," he said. "You can return to your room." But she did not move. Her eyes drifted from the door back to him. "It feels calm here." "I did not expect that," Liam smiled. "Maybe next time you will visit on purpose." Alara looked at him for a moment longer, then gave a small nod. "Maybe I will." She stepped out into the corridor, her silver light fading with each step. When the door closed behind her, the room felt strangely empty. Liam looked down at his desk and noticed the holocube still there. She had forgotten it. He picked it up and smiled. "Guess she will have to come back for it," he said to himself. Outside the window, the nebula shone brighter as if watching over both of them. The next morning, Aurora Base was quieter than usual. The storm had passed, leaving the air crisp and the lights flickering softly. Liam walked through the corridors toward the maintenance bay, carrying his toolbox. He had a list of systems to check after the radiation surge from last night. As he rounded a corner, he froze. A familiar figure stood near the wall, her hands folded in front of her. Princess Alara. She was dressed in a simple silver robe, her hair floating lightly as if the air had tiny currents just for her. Her glowing eyes avoided his, focused on the floor. Princess Liam said softly, "Good morning. I did not expect to see you here." She startled slightly, but did not move. I wanted to return the cube," she said, holding a small object tightly in her hands. The holocube reflected the morning light, casting soft colors on her face. Liam smiled. "You do not need to return it. I can keep it for you." Her eyes lifted slowly. For a moment she looked as if she wanted to speak, but the words froze. Finally she said, I thought I should see you again. Last night. It felt safe here." Liam's heart warmed at her words. "I am glad. You are welcome any time. The base is quiet this time of day. It is easier to think and talk." Her ears twitched slightly, an alien gesture he had begun to recognize as a sign of nervousness. She stepped closer, lowering the holocube. I would like to learn more about humans," she admitted. "You are so different from what I expected." Liam gestured toward the maintenance bay. "Come, you can watch me work. Machines are easier to understand than words sometimes." Yalara nodded and followed him. The bay was filled with drones, tools, and robotic arms waiting for maintenance. The floor was clean, reflecting the soft lights overhead. Liam set the toolbox down and began inspecting a small repair drone. "This drone lost power last night because of the storm," he explained. "It will take about an hour to bring it back online." Alara leaned slightly forward, watching every movement. "You fix machines with your hands," she said. "Humans do not rely only on robots." Liam shook his head. "We do both. Robots help, but we often need human hands for delicate work. Some things cannot be programmed." She frowned slightly, absorbing the thought. "I do not think I understand fully. On Viron, the machines adjust themselves. We rarely touch them. Humans, you prefer direct control." "Yes," Liam said with a grin. "It feels satisfying to fix something yourself." Lara's eyes sparkled. "Satisfying?" "Yes," he said, holding up a small gear. "When you repair it, you see the result. You know you made it work." Her head tilted, and she reached forward, her hand hovering above the gear. She withdrew quickly, unsure. "May I try?" Liam nodded carefully. "I will guide you." For the next hour, she worked under his instruction. Her hands were gentle, precise, and careful. Every time a gear clicked into place, her eyes widened slightly. When the drone finally hummed and lifted a few inches off the ground, she let out a small laugh. "Da-da-da!" It was the first sound of genuine joy Liam had heard from her. "I did it," she whispered, almost in disbelief. "Yes," Liam said softly. "You fixed it. Humans feel proud when they create or repair something. Now you understand a little." Her glowing ribbons of hair floated as she looked at the flying drone. "It is alive, in a way. Thank you for letting me try." The morning passed quickly. Liam shared stories of human invention, telling her about how humans built spaceships, repaired colonies, and survived in dangerous places. Ilara listened, quietly asking questions only when she felt she could understand. During a short break, Liam offered her a simple snack. "Food is important when working," he said. She looked at the small packet and hesitated. "I do not usually eat like this," she admitted. "Viron meals are very different." "Try it anyway," he encouraged. "It is not dangerous." She tasted it carefully, her glowing eyes narrowing as she tried to understand the flavor. Slowly, a small smile appeared. "It is pleasant, sweet, and soft." Liam laughed. "You will get used to human food. It is part of the experience." For a moment, they sat together in silence, watching the small drone hover in front of them. Then Alara spoke, her voice quiet. You are patient. Most humans would be afraid of me or bow excessively. I am not most humans, Liam replied gently. I see you as a person, not a title. Her lips curved in a faint smile. You are different. I like that. As the day continued, she stayed close to him, learning simple repairs, watching the machines, and asking questions about human life. Liam explained small things, how humans laughed, how they celebrated, and how they worked together during danger. She listened intently, fascinated. By afternoon, she had grown more comfortable. She even helped organize the tools, placing wrenches and screws in neat rows. I did not know work could be satisfying, she admitted. It feels quiet in the mind when one focuses. That is the magic of doing something with your hands, Liam said. It calms the mind. It shows you are alive and capable. Alara nodded, her glowing eyes thoughtful. Your people. They seem strong because of heart, not just skill. You endure difficulties, but you continue. Liam smiled softly. No, that is what makes humans special. We are not always the strongest physically, but we try, we endure, and we care. She glanced at him, her lips slightly parted. I have seen humans on battlefields in stories. They survive in ways that seem impossible. Is it true? Yes, he said. Humans are stubborn. We do not give up. Not easily. That is why we survive even when the odds are against us. Ilara sat quietly for a long time thinking. Liam could tell she was absorbing every word. She seemed smaller than a princess now, just a young being learning something entirely new. Later, the station announced a minor system check. The lights dimmed briefly, and a soft hum filled the bay. Ilara shivered slightly, her hands wrapping around the blanket Liam had given her last night. You are not afraid of the hum? Liam asked. She shook her head. I am not, but it is strange. I feel more exposed here. That is why humans are here, he said. We face strange things, but we adapt. That is part of living. Her ears twitched slightly in thought. You make it sound easy, he shrugged. It is not easy, but it is worth it. By evening, Alara had learned more than she expected. She could identify simple problems in machines, knew how to adjust parts carefully, and had spoken more freely than she had with her Viren tutors. Liam noticed how her body relaxed around him. She no longer held herself stiffly, no longer spoke only in formal phrases. When the repair drones were ready to fly again, Liam let her control one with a small console. She hesitated, then pressed the controls carefully. The drone lifted slowly, hovered, and moved forward. Glowing eyes widened in surprise. I did it again, she whispered, almost to herself. Yes, Liam said with a warm smile. You are learning fast. Her soft laugh echoed in the empty bay. I do not feel like a princess here, she admitted. I feel human. Liam's heart beat faster. That is because you are learning. Titles do not make us who we are. Actions do. She looked at him, her eyes reflecting the soft light of the bay. You trust me? Yes, he said. Yeah. I trust that you will not harm anyone here. You helped today. You proved that. She nodded slowly. Humans are unusual. Never thought I would feel comfortable with one. By nightfall, the bay was empty except for the two of them. Liam prepared a small meal for them both, simple and warm. They ate quietly, enjoying the calm after a long day. Ilara's eyes glimmered softly. I think I want to stay here. For a little while, Liam looked at her, surprised but pleased. Then stay. You are welcome. She smiled faintly, a shy, glowing smile that lit her face in a way Liam had never seen before. I will, at least until I understand humans better. Outside, the stars of the nebula shimmered brighter. For the first time, a small alien princess felt at peace in a human world. And a human technician discovered that even the quietest hearts could be touched by unexpected friendship. The night passed, soft and calm, with the gentle hum of machines and the glow of nebula light. Two very different beings sat together in silence, learning from each other, discovering that trust, patience, small acts of care could build bridges between worlds. Hilera had entered his room by accident. But by the end of the day, she had discovered a place where she could belong, even for a little while. And Liam, the simple human, realized that sometimes the smallest interactions could change the course of two lives forever. The morning after their long night in the maintenance bay, the Aurora base corridors were bright with the soft glow of overhead lights. Liam walked down the hall with a small toolbox in one hand, humming quietly to himself. He was focused on his routine inspections, but something made him glance toward the open door of the human quarters. There she was, Princess Alara, standing hesitantly in the doorway, her glowing blue eyes flickering between curiosity and nervousness. She was wrapped in the simple blanket he had given her the night before, her silver robe trailing softly on the floor. Her hair floated lightly, shimmering in the artificial lights. "Good morning, Princess," Liam said with a smile. "Did you sleep well?" Alara's ears twitched slightly, a sign of uncertainty he had begun to recognize. I did." It was quiet, and I did not feel watched, she admitted softly. "I wanted to see you again. You came to visit?" Liam asked, genuinely surprised. She nodded, her gaze flicking to the toolbox he carried. I want to learn more. About humans, about your work, about everything you said yesterday." Liam chuckled softly. "Then let's start early. We have plenty to do." They spent the morning in the maintenance bay, repairing small drones and checking systems damaged during the storm. Elar's hands were delicate, but precise, and Liam guided her patiently, showing her how to adjust gears, tighten circuits, and calibrate sensors. "You are very careful," he observed, noticing how she never rushed. "It reminds me of a human saying, 'Measure twice, cut once.'" She tilted her head. "Measure twice, cut once?" "It means, think before you act. Take care with every move, and mistakes will be fewer." Alara repeated the phrase slowly, testing the words on her tongue. "Measure twice, cut once." She smiled faintly. "Humans think strangely." Liam laughed. "Strange can be good. It makes us flexible." As they worked, the conversation shifted to more personal things. She asked about his childhood, why he chose this work, and how humans learn to survive in space. Liam spoke simply, telling stories about teamwork, persistence, and moments when humans had failed but tried again. I never imagined humans were so determined," Alara said, watching a drone hover steadily in the air. "On Viren, we rely on guidance from the elders. But you decide for yourselves and continue, despite danger." "Yes," Liam replied. "We make mistakes. We fall, but we get up again. It is how we survive. Sometimes survival is more than strength. It is courage and persistence." Lara's ears twitched thoughtfully. Courage. Persistence. Humans are strong not only in body, but in spirit. "That is right," Liam said softly. "Humans endure because they care, and because they believe in something greater than themselves." She was silent for a moment, processing the idea. Then she looked at him with a faint blush on her cheeks. You are unlike anyone I have met. You do not treat me as a princess. You treat me as a person." Liam smiled gently. "Because that is what you are. Titles only tell part of a story. Actions and heart tell the rest." Her glowing eyes softened. "You make it sound simple, but I feel strange, comfortable, safe. I do not know why." "You are learning," Liam said quietly. "Sometimes comfort comes from someone who does not judge, someone who sees you for yourself." The afternoon passed quickly. They repaired drones, tested systems, and shared small meals. Liam explained human inventions, while Alara explained aspects of Viren life. She showed him how her species used light and sound to communicate subtle emotions. And Liam shared stories of human teamwork and problem-solving. Humans are resilient," Alara said softly after watching him fix a stubborn drone. "Even when machines fail, you find solutions." "You continue, 'cause we have to," Liam said. "If we stop, nothing works. Survival depends on action." Alara's lips curved in a faint smile. "I think that is why I am fascinated by your species. You are not flawless, but your hearts are strong. Your spirit does not break easily. Liam nodded, sensing the shift in their connection. It was no longer just a teacher-student interaction. Something unspoken was growing, a bond built on trust, curiosity, and mutual respect. Later, the base announced a minor safety drill. Lights dimmed and soft alarms hummed. Liam checked the panel and confirmed it was a test. Ilara shivered slightly, her hands clutching the blanket. "You are not afraid?" Liam asked. She shook her head. "I am cautious. But I trust you, is all I ask," he said. Trust is the start of everything. The drill passed without incident, and the lights returned to normal. Ilara let out a small breath she did not realize she had been holding. "You are brave," she said quietly. "Humans face storms, darkness, and danger without hesitation. You do not panic, we adapt," Liam replied. "That is what humans do. We do not always have choice. Sometimes, we face what comes and find a way." Ilara looked at him, her glowing eyes wide. I want to be like you. To learn courage, not only from my position, but from my heart." "You already are learning," Liam said gently. "Every small act, every moment of understanding, it counts." She studied him, her small frame leaning slightly forward, as if wanting to understand everything at once. "Liam, why are you not afraid of me?" "Most humans. They bow, they tremble. You do not." "I see a person," he said simply. "Not a princess, not a title, just you." For the first time, Ilara smiled fully, a soft glow brightening her features. "You make me feel normal, not different, not distant." Liam felt his chest warm. "You are normal," he said. "Everyone is, if you look past titles and expectation." The day wore on. They tested drones together, repaired small systems, and explored minor engineering anomalies in the station. Ilara's nervousness faded as she worked alongside him. Her movements were confident, precise, and careful. She began laughing softly at her mistakes, correcting them with determination. By evening, Liam prepared a small meal for them both. They ate quietly, sharing simple food. She tasted human flavors, commenting softly on the differences from Viren cuisine. "This is enjoyable," she admitted. "I never thought food could feel warm, comforting, and simple at the same time." "Humans like comfort," Liam said with a grin. "Sometimes, small things make life better. We work hard, and then we find comfort in simple pleasures." Ilara looked at him, glowing softly in the dim light. "You teach me many things, not only machines, but humans themselves. I want to stay here with you to learn more." Liam felt a warmth in his chest he could not name. "Then stay. You are welcome any time. I will teach you as much as you want to learn." Her ears twitched slightly, a sign of relief and joy. "I will stay. I want to understand humans, their strength, and their heart." The two of them worked silently after dinner, repairing a small service robot. Liam guided her hands, explaining the mechanisms. She listened carefully, adjusting parts with precision. Every click of the tools brought a small smile to her face. "Today, I feel I have done more than I expected," she said softly. "I understand. Courage, patience, and persistence. Not just through stories, but through action. That is the best way to learn," Liam replied. "Knowledge is not enough. Action shows character." Ilara looked at him, her eyes reflecting the soft glow of the bay lights. "You trust me. You believe in me. You are not afraid of me?" "Because I see you for who you are," Liam said quietly. "Not your title. Not your lineage. Just you." For a long moment, silence filled the bay. Outside, the nebula shone through the windows, its light reflecting off the machines and soft metal walls. Ilara spoke softly, almost to herself. I think I have found a place where I belong. Even if only for a little while. I trust you." Liam nodded gently. "And I trust you too. That is the start of everything." The night passed quietly. Aurora Base hummed softly, its systems working, drones hovering gently, and lights glowing in steady rhythm. In the maintenance bay, a human and an alien princess sat together, their differences fading under understanding, trust, and the bond that was slowly forming between them. Ilara had come to learn about humans, but she was learning much more. She was learning courage, friendship, and patience. She was learning that even a shy princess could find comfort and strength in unexpected places. Liam, in turn, was learning that small acts of kindness and patience could build bridges between worlds. The simple human who repaired machines was discovering the impact of trust and quiet. Guidance on someone who had never truly been free to be herself. By the end of the night, a bond had formed between them. A bond built on respect, trust, and shared discovery. It was the beginning of something neither had expected, yet both were quietly grateful for. And in that soft, quiet bay of Aurora Base, two very different lives began moving closer together, learning from each other, and discovering that friendship, courage, and understanding could create bridges that spanned not only species but worlds. The morning sun of Aurora Base spread soft golden light across the station. Liam was already in the maintenance bay, checking the status of a drone fleet that had been repaired over the past few days. The storm had passed, and the station was peaceful. But there was a tension he could feel in the air. Princess Ilara appeared quietly at the doorway, her glowing hair shimmering in the soft morning light. She moved cautiously, as if unsure how her presence would be received. Liam looked up and smiled warmly. "Good morning, Princess," he said. "Ready to continue learning?" Ilara nodded, though her ears twitched nervously. "Yes, but I think I should warn you. There may be interference today." Liam tilted his head. "Interference?" She lowered her gaze. "The council. My advisors have noticed my unusual visits. They may not approve of me spending so much time with a human." Liam's smile did not falter. "Then we will just have to be careful and focus on work." Ilara took a deep breath. I want to continue. I am learning more than I expected, humans. They teach courage, patience, and understanding." "Then that is what matters," Liam said firmly. "We learn together, and no one can take that away." As they worked, the Council of Viren advisors began observing the station through security feeds. They saw Princess Ilara laughing softly with Liam as she adjusted a drone's circuits. They noted how calm and confident she had become, how her posture relaxed, and how her glowing ribbons of hair floated freely around her head. "This is unacceptable," one of the advisors said sharply. "The princess is spending time with a human. It is not proper. It will cause dishonor to our lineage." The head advisor, an older Viren named Syrian, narrowed his eyes. "We must intervene. If she continues, she may forget her duties and the rules of our people. Send a message. She is to cease her visits immediately." Meanwhile, in the maintenance bay, Ilara adjusted a drone's control arm. She glanced at Liam and whispered, "Do you think they will interfere?" Liam shook his head gently. "We cannot control what others do, but we can control our actions. We are doing nothing wrong. We are learning, and that is what matters." Ilara nodded, taking courage from his words. I will continue. I want to learn, even if it is forbidden." Just as she spoke, a soft chime alerted her communicator. A message from the council scrolled across the small holographic screen. It read, "Princess Ilara, you are to return to your quarters immediately. Your interactions with humans are inappropriate and must cease." Her glowing eyes flickered with worry. "Liam, they command me to stop." He placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Listen to me. You are learning. You are not harming anyone. If they see your courage and understanding, perhaps they will understand one day. But you must decide. Do you follow their orders blindly, or do you do what is right for yourself?" Ilara hesitated, torn between duty and curiosity. Finally, she shook her head. I cannot stop. Not yet. I have learned too much already. I need to continue." Liam nodded. "Then we will be discreet. We focus on the work, and we show through action why this is important." The day passed quietly, though tension lingered. Alara remained with Liam in the maintenance bay, repairing drones, testing systems, and learning about human persistence. Her confidence grew as she worked, and Liam admired her determination. But the council was not idle. They sent a small monitoring team to the bay, observing her from a hidden distance. Alara noticed nothing, her focus entirely on the machines before her. That afternoon, an unexpected problem arose. A minor reactor module in the base began overheating due to the storm's damage. The sensors flashed red, and alarms echoed softly through the corridors. Liam's heart raced as he checked the module. "We have a problem," he said, looking at Alara. "This reactor could fail if we do not act fast. It will cause a cascade of system failures across the base." Alara's ears twitched nervously, but she did not step back. "What can I do?" she asked. "Stay with me," Liam said firmly. "I need focus, but I also need you to assist with minor adjustments. Your precision is perfect for this work." She nodded, taking a deep breath. Together, they moved toward the reactor module. Liam worked quickly, adjusting circuits and monitoring readings. Alara handed him tools, corrected small alignments, and followed his instructions carefully. The heat from the module made the air shimmer, but she did not retreat. Her focus was absolute. Liam realized that her confidence earned through learning and trust was now translating into real action under pressure. Minutes felt like hours. The alarms blared softly, and the module's temperature climbed steadily. Liam's hands moved quickly, adjusting valves, tightening circuits, and rerouting power. Alara followed every instruction, her small hands steady and precise. Finally, with a soft hiss, the module stabilized. The red warning lights turned green, and the alarm ceased. Both of them stepped back, breathing heavily. The base's systems hummed normally again. Alara looked at Liam, her glowing eyes wide. We did it. The base, it is safe." "Yes," Liam said, smiling despite exhaustion. "Because we worked together. That is what humans do. And you learned quickly." Her ears twitched, and she gave a small laugh. "I never thought I could do such things. I am stronger than I imagined." The council's monitoring team approached. They had witnessed the reactor incident. Their expressions shifted from disapproval to amazement. They saw the human and the Viren princess working in perfect coordination, saving the base from disaster. Sirion, the head advisor, spoke through a communicator. "Princess Alara, explain your actions. Why did you disobey direct orders?" Alara stood tall, her glowing hair floating gently around her face. "I did not disobey to defy. I acted to protect the base. I learned from a human technician that courage and understanding are more important than fear or hesitation. The base would have failed without action." There was silence. The advisors studied the feed, noting her bravery, precision, and calm under pressure. Liam remained by her side, smiling quietly. He knew this was a turning point, not just for Alara, but for the understanding between humans and the Viren. Sirion's voice softened. "Your actions were correct. You have demonstrated wisdom and courage. Perhaps we underestimated the value of learning through action." Alara's glowing eyes softened. "I have learned much from humans. Not only about machines, but about courage, patience, and trust. I cannot stop learning." The council remained silent for a moment, then nodded slowly. They realized that sometimes courage and understanding mattered more than rules and tradition. That night, back in the maintenance bay, Liam and Alara sat quietly. The soft hum of machines filled the space. She looked at him, a faint smile on her face. "Today, I understood humans better," she said softly. "Not just their strength, but their spirit. And I also understand myself better." "You learn through action," Liam said. "Not just words or stories, but real choices. That is how humans grow, and now you have too." Alara's glowing ribbons floated gently as she considered his words. "I feel braver, stronger, but most of all, I feel free. Even for a little while." "You earned that," Liam said. By trusting yourself and learning, and by trusting me. Her eyes met his, soft and bright. I do trust you, Liam, more than I expected I could. Outside, the nebula shimmered in soft blues and purples, as if celebrating their achievement. Two very different beings, human and alien, had faced a challenge together, proving courage, trust, and understanding could bridge worlds. Aurora Base was quiet now. The reactor hummed steadily, drones hovered softly, and machines glowed with life. Liam and Alara had forged a bond stronger than any rule or title. The Council had seen their bravery and understood, at least in part, that learning courage. And action could sometimes surpass tradition. Alara leaned back against a soft bench, her glowing eyes reflecting the gentle lights. I think I have a purpose here, she said softly, not only as a princess, but as someone who can learn and grow. Liam smiled warmly. And I am glad you chose to stay, even when it was difficult. That is what makes you remarkable. The night passed peacefully, but the lessons remained. Both human and princess had grown through trust, courage, and patience. Both understood that even small actions could have great consequences, and that bonds built on respect and understanding could change the future. And in that quiet bay, under the soft glow of Aurora Base, two worlds met, learned from each other, and found strength in unity. The morning sun of Aurora Base shone gently through the observation windows. The station was calm, but a sense of anticipation hung in the air. Princess Alara had spent the past few days learning alongside Liam, growing more confident, skilled, and comfortable than she ever had before today. The council had called for her presence. They wanted to discuss her continued visits with Liam. Alara felt a mixture of nervousness and determination. She had learned so much, yet she did not want to give up what she had found. Liam found her in the maintenance bay, carefully adjusting a small drone. Good morning, he said softly. Ready for the meeting? Alara shook her head slightly. I am not sure I am ready for their questions, but I am ready to explain myself. You do not have to be perfect, Liam said gently. Just speak honestly. They will see the truth. They walked together to the council chamber. The doors opened, and the Viren advisors and Emperor awaited. Their expressions were serious, though curiosity and a hint of concern flickered in their eyes. Princess Alara, Syrian, the head advisor, began. You have spent much time with a human technician. Explain why you continue these interactions despite orders to stop. Alara stepped forward, her glowing hair floating lightly around her shoulders. Father Syrian, I understand your concerns. I know my actions are unusual. But I have learned things I could never learn in the palace alone. I have learned courage, patience, and understanding. I have learned that humans are not only strong, but their hearts are steadfast. The Emperor's eyes softened slightly. And what have you learned from this human? Alara looked directly at Liam, who stood quietly beside her. I have learned that trust and patience can create bonds stronger than fear. I have learned that someone does not need a title to teach wisdom. And I have learned that courage is not only about strength, but about taking action when it matters. Syrian frowned slightly. You are brave? But are you not afraid of the consequences? Of offending tradition? I am, Alara admitted. But sometimes tradition must meet understanding. Sometimes learning and courage are more important than rules. The base was in danger during the storm. Liam taught me that action and persistence save lives. That lesson cannot be ignored. The council was silent for a long moment. Liam's presence beside her was steady and calm, yet powerful. He had no title, no status, yet his influence was undeniable. Finally, the Emperor spoke. You have grown through this experience. Your judgment and courage are evident. Perhaps we have underestimated the value of learning through action. Alara bowed slightly, grateful for his words. Thank you, Father. I wish to continue learning. I wish to bridge the gap between our worlds, not only as a princess, but as someone who understands humans and their heart. Right. Syria nodded slowly. If she continues, she must do so responsibly. We will not hinder learning when it is guided by wisdom and courage. Alara turned to Liam, her glowing eyes soft and bright. It seems we have their approval. He smiled warmly. You earned it. By trust, courage, and action. After the council meeting, Alara returned to the maintenance bay with Liam. The station was quiet, and the soft hum of machines filled the room. She looked around, her eyes reflecting both pride and relief. I feel different, she said softly. Stronger, braver, and freer. That is because you acted, not just listened, Liam said. You trusted yourself and me. That is how growth happens. Lara smiled faintly. I think I want to stay here, not only to learn but to help. Humans have taught me courage, and now I wish to use it. You are welcome to stay, Liam said. Aurora Base is not just a station. It is a place to grow, to learn, and to discover. Over the next few days, Alara began working more actively with the station's operations. She coordinated repairs, assisted in training human technicians, and applied the lessons she had learned from Liam. Her presence became an inspiration, not only to humans, but also to young Viren visiting the base. One evening, after a long day of work, Liam and Alara stood by a large observation window. Outside, the nebula spread in brilliant colors across the sky, and the stars shone softly, reflecting in the calm of the base. Do you remember the first night you entered my room? Liam asked quietly. Alara nodded, her glowing hair floating softly. I was nervous, shy, unsure. I did not know what to expect. And now? He asked, smiling. Now, she said softly, I am stronger. I am braver. I have learned not only from machines, but from you and humans. I feel ready to face anything. Liam smiled, noticing the confidence in her eyes. You have grown far beyond the shy princess I first met. You are remarkable. She looked at him, her expression soft. And you have shown me patience, trust, and courage. I will never forget that. A small pause followed, filled with quiet warmth. The nebula outside glowed gently, as if reflecting the bond between the human and the alien princess. I am ready to stay, Alara whispered. Not just as a visitor, but as someone who can help both humans and Viren understand each other. Then stay, Liam said softly. The station will always welcome you, and I will always help you learn. Alara nodded, a faint smile spreading across her face. Thank you, Liam. You have changed my life in ways I cannot describe. I am grateful. Alara settled into a routine at Aurora Base. She continued learning about human engineering, science, and problem solving. She shared her own knowledge of Viren technology, showing humans new ways to approach energy systems and communication devices. Her presence strengthened the bond between humans and alien visitors. The Council, observing from afar, noted her growth and the positive influence she had on both species. Their initial disapproval transformed into respect. They realized that courage, learning, and action could create understanding where rules and tradition alone could not. One evening, Liam and Alara repaired a small drone together. She adjusted its circuits with careful hands, smiling as it hummed to life. You are getting better every day, Liam said softly. I am learning, Alara replied. But more than that, I am understanding humans. Your courage, your patience, your willingness to act, it inspires me. Liam looked at her, smiling. And you inspire others, too. You have shown that understanding and trust can bridge worlds. Alara's glowing ribbons of hair floated gently around her face. I think this is where I belong. Not only with humans, but as someone who can connect us all. I am no longer just a princess. I am a learner, a helper, and someone who can act with courage. Liam nodded. You have found your path, and you are not alone. We will face challenges together, learn together, and grow together. Outside the observation window, the stars and nebula painted a brilliant tapestry across space. Two worlds, human and Viren, seemed to shine together in harmony. Leia turned to Liam. I entered your room by accident, she said softly, but perhaps the stars planned it. Perhaps this is how my journey truly began. Liam smiled warmly. Then I am glad the stars made a mistake. They stood together quietly, watching the glowing nebula, knowing that trust, courage, and understanding had changed everything. Two different worlds had met, and two hearts had formed a bond that could last a lifetime. And so, the shy alien princess stayed. She no longer hid behind her title or her fear. She learned from humans, worked with them, and became a bridge between two species. Aurora Base was no longer just a station, it had become a place where courage, understanding, and friendship could thrive. The nebula outside glimmered softly, a reminder that even small actions, trust, and courage could shape the future. And in the quiet hum of the station, a human and an alien princess discovered that bonds built on patience, respect, and shared experience could last far longer than titles rules, or even space itself. Princess Alara had come by accident, but she had found her place, her purpose, and a true friend. And the bond between human and alien would continue to grow, brighter than any star in the galaxy.